Hey drivers, Sunil here, and this is your weekly broker tip for Friday, August 25th, 2023. Happy Friday, and once again, my disclaimer, I'm not an attorney and this is not legal advice. This week's tip is something that we've talked about in the past, and I was reminded of it this week because we had a situation in our office with one of our buyer clients who was purchasing new construction. So anyway, I figured it would be a good reminder. So in Form 310, our normal contract, there's a bunch of contingencies that the buyer has. Two of the big ones are the financing contingency, and then in paragraph 10, the appraisal contingency. What I want for the newer agents, and also maybe if you haven't done new construction in a while, one thing to be aware of is if your buyer client purchases or buyer customer purchases new construction and you use the builder's contract, which most builders will have their own contract, and especially the large builders, the contingencies are not the same. Typically, most builders in the financing contingency, it does not run through the day of closing like it does with our normal 310. So what I've normally seen is the buyer has about 30 days to provide a conditional approval letter to the builder, and then after that their mortgage contingency is done in many cases. Now obviously, as many of you know, if you've looked at builder contracts, they're quite long and detailed, so there could be other terms to that, but generally speaking, keep in mind that the buyer's not going to have all the way through the day of closing. And then the second thing is, I don't often see appraisal contingencies in a builder contract. So that's the other thing the buyer needs to be aware of, is if the home doesn't appraise, in many cases, they're still obligated to buy, especially if they're adding a bunch of options and upgrades at the design center or whatnot, where they spend an extra $30,000 or $40,000. An appraiser is not going to value those things that they add at the same cost that the builder is going to charge for it. So just two things to make your buyers aware of. In most cases, a builder will not deviate from those terms, so it's not like the buyer can go in and start striking through things. And if they want to, it's certainly their prerogative to try. Ultimately, it just boils down to how badly they want the house and how badly the builder wants to purchase the home. I have seen builders make some exceptions, but with the market the way it is, even where interest rates are at, generally speaking, I'm seeing builders stand pretty firm with the way their contract is written. So hopefully that's helpful. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend.